So I had to change the title because it had a sad word in it. But anyway, welcome. I'm super excited for this. I need to wash my hair really badly. The camera angle on the iPad is terrible. Perfect. Incredible. Amazing. Maybe not better. Okay, not better. I'm just getting worse. Awesome. I love my life. Looks so good. Hello, hello, hello. Club going up on a Tuesday. Last time the club is going to be going up on a Tuesday, though, because after this week, the perils are over. Okay. I completed the pipeline. Welcome. You picked the perfect week to complete the pipeline. No, class was just on Tuesday last week and this week because I have events for school on both of those Wednesdays, but class will be returning to Wednesday next week. My hair is so bad. Okay. I've been gone for like a month, so excited to be back. Welcome, Coffee Creamer. Are we going to get a Snoop Dogg stream next week? I don't think so. My plan is to do Gwyneth Paltrow, but I have a very low commitment level to that plan. Love the lighting in the background. Slay. Thank you. My computer, unfortunately, sounds like it's already going to take off into outer space. So, speak of the devil, I had way too many chicken wings before I did this, and I feel like I said that last time, but it's still true. So anyway, if you would like to gift $1, $2, $1 million, whatever you want to gift towards my computer fund, we are almost there. And I'm actually doing a really, really cool, I can't stay on Tuesdays, but I'm really going to try and make it next week. Yay. Wait, got to fart. It was your first day teaching? And Sarah Seraph, thanks for subscribing with Prime for 12 months. We could have literally gotten married and had a baby in 12 months. But we did this instead, and I love that for us. But anyway, thank you to everyone who has already gifted to my computer fund. We're almost there. We're 83% of the way there, which is way further than I thought we would get if we're being honest. And what I was going to say is later in October, I really want to do like a lesson for teachers about how to use AI because AI saves me so much motherfucking time and I need a better computer to do that because my lovely little laptop cannot handle having that many tabs open and like running Google Chrome extensions to do the AI. Like my computer just literally can't handle that. So hopefully, also I want to have like a guest on with me to talk about it. So a better computer would facilitate that a lot better. And then I will get to do cool stuff like that more often and like show you more nitty gritty stuff. We could like go on government websites and read the archives and all of that kind of stuff. So all that to say, thank you to everyone who has already gifted to my computer fund. And if you have not, I still appreciate you being here, but it would be really cool if you did gift to it. That would be really dope and awesome. So if you would like to gift towards that fund, it's via Venmo. You can either scan it or my Venmo is redacted_parking lot. And just so the IRS does not get mad at me, if you could put the word gift in the what's it for line, that would be awesome. If you did not, it is totally motherfucking fine. It's just if nobody did, then it would add up. You know what I mean? But thank you. Oh, thank you, Lisa, for $10. We love a $10. We love. Okay, but anyway, what was I going to say? We're 83% of the way there. We only have a couple $100 to go. So like if everybody on here literally gave $2, we'd be there and I could shut the fuck up about this. And also if you didn't already hear, merch is here. I'm wearing merch. Let me show you. I have camo pajama shorts on, so like that's great and embarrassing. I hope none of my students are here. They found me on TikTok this week, which was jarring. But anyway, this is one of my merch shirts. It's a unisex tank top, and it says the CIA is just a frat that took things too far. And then the beer can says MK Ultra. If you don't know what MK Ultra is, during the Cold War, the CIA was like, we want to do mind control, and we think that LSD is the way to do it. So they gave people LSD without their consent. Like if you've seen Stranger Things, you know how in Stranger Things, Eleven is like fucked up because her mom like was in a government experiment. That government experiment is MK Ultra, and it was real. But anyway, this is what the front looks like. It's a beer can, and it says the CIA is just a frat that took things too far. And then this is what the back looks like. I don't know if you can see it, but it says I'm rushing CIA this fall. And then it has like my handles and stuff down at the bottom. But yeah, the Unabomber was an MK Ultra. That's scary. Wearing my merch right now. Oh my God, stop. But anyway, we have already been fucking around and talking about money and sales and all that for 5 minutes. And we have a lot of slides tonight. We have 80 slides tonight. So let's get motherfucking into it. Oh, someone else gave to the computer fund. Thank you, Armalinda and Grace. We love. Okay, so let's talk about Martha Stewart. We are actually in for a wild motherfucking ride. Martha Stewart is like, I'm obsessed with her now. Like, I am literally obsessed with her now. And classes will be Wednesdays again, starting this upcoming week. This is the last Tuesday one for the foreseeable future. But anywho, let's go ahead and get into Martha Stewart's life. She was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, August 3rd, 1941. For some context, that is right at the beginning of World War II. So Miss Martha Stewart, born in the middle of World War II. She is the second of 6 children. Her father's name is Edward. Her mother's name is Martha. They are of Polish heritage. I'm not sure if they immigrated here or grandparents, great-grandparents. I have no idea. Martha is like my Nana's Taylor Swift. And your Nana is fucking right for that. And this might make your Nana hate Martha Stewart, but it made me love her. Jersey City girl, right? That's what I'm saying. So both her parents were teachers. That's why she's an icon. Oh my God, stop. Her father later became a pharmaceutical salesman. So valid, King. Like, so valid of you to not make it as a teacher. Like, literally so valid. And when Martha Stewart was 3 years old, the family moved to Nutley, New Jersey, and she adopted the name Grace for her Catholic confirmation name. Yeah, she's 81 right now, which is wild. So here's some pics courtesy of Martha Stewart, not directly to me. Also, for those of you on TikTok, if you want to see my slides, if you want to see the pictures, all that stuff, you have to come to Twitch. It's free to watch. It's the first link on my page. You don't even have to make an account to watch it. You just have to make an account to like talk in the chat. But anyway, here's a pic of Martha Stewart with her mom. Here's her with her family. Another pic, Easter in Central Park. And then here's a pic. She said, I love this photo. It was taken by my father when I was about 6 years old with his old Rolleiflex camera and natural light. As a small girl, I often cut flowers from our garden to make arrangements for my mother. I still look forward to putting together different combinations every spring. Like, exactly. She gets it. Like, can I just say she gets it? Like, she gets what we were put on earth to do. To make our little flower arrangements, to have a good fucking time. I'm a gay 20-year-old boy, but Martha can hit me up any day. And I think she would. I think Martha would hit you up, not in that way, but in like a fun happy hour way. And I think it would be a time. So when Martha Stewart was 10, she was the babysitter for Mickey Mantle and Gil McDougald and Yogi Berra. I don't know who the fuck those people are, but apparently they all played for the New York Yankees. Mickey and Marilyn Mantle had 4 sons. Martha Stewart watched them and she organized their birthday parties. So I think that's like how she got her dabble into event planning or whatever. Stewart's mother taught her how to cook and sew, and then later she learned the process of canning and preservation when she visited her grandparents in Buffalo, New York. And her father had a passion for gardening and passed on much of this knowledge and expertise to his daughter. So clearly she like is like steeped in this, like the homemaking things. She graduated, she was active in many extracurriculars in school, like the newspaper and the art club. Shocker. She graduated from Nutley High School and she attended Barnard College of Columbia University, and she originally planned to major in chemistry, but she switched to art history and then later architectural history. Canning too, apocalypse preparedness queen. No, literally, she gets it. So here is Martha Stewart in her college days, absolutely fucking eating. Left no crumbs. Like 8. No notes. 0 notes. Absolutely 0 notes. Sorry. TikTok people, you're getting blocked by my Stanley Cup. That's really unfortunate for you. But I need to drink. Is that better? Worse? Maybe a little better. Can I put it over here? But then it's kind of in my way. I should have gotten a bigger desk. Oh well. Okay. So she also began modeling at 15. She was featured in a television commercial for Unilever, and she went on to appear in television commercials and magazines, including a smoker's ad, or a cigarette ad, I mean. During her college years, she supplemented her scholarship through modeling jobs, which she said she got paid $50 an hour, which was a lot of money at that time. It really was. And among the companies she modeled for was Chanel. So she was a pretty successful model. Like, girly was not in her flop era. You know what I mean? Next fundraiser, new desk. So it's not even, this desk is actually perfect for when I get the new computer. But right now, because I have like the iPad and this and the camera and the light, like once I have a new computer, it'll all just be in one thing. But you know, I just kind of bought the desk before I had the computer because the desk was like $70. But anyway, I'm not 100% sure that this is her, but this is apparently the ad she's in. You really can't see shit. But sorry. What gives Carrington the taste worth fighting for? The right kid fighting taste worth fighting for. Carrington's got a charcoal tip and it's got a white one too. Together they improve that great tobacco taste for you. Us Carrington smokers would rather fight then switch. Join the unswitchable smoke. Yeah, so I guess she's in this commercial. Very anticlimactic, but wanted to show you her work. The photos eat way fucking harder. And again, for those of you on TikTok, to see the photos, you have to come to Twitch. So sorry about that. But look at her modeling. Literally look at her. She modeled for brands like Breck, Clariol, Lifebuoy Soap, and a couple other companies. Literally eating so fucking hard. Look at the cow. How is the cow eating? How is the cow serving right here? During my modeling days, we didn't have a team of stylists for photo shoots. I had to do my hair myself. And like, look at her jawline. She is quite literally stunning. Like, stunning, stunning. Like, I have never felt uglier in my entire life. And we deserve it because no one is as gorgeous as Martha Stewart. 60s icon. Yes, this is in like the late 60s. The OG Bump It. And Martha was doing the Bump It herself. She was doing it herself. I think this was in like the early 70s. Late 60s, early 70s. What year was $50 an hour? Let me look up the math conversion. Actually, if you're already looking. I have this bookmarked because I do it for my students all the time. If in, let's say 1970, let's just call it 1970. That seems most close. So her $50 an hour for modeling today would be $393 an hour. So I think that that really shows that like she was an accomplished and respectable model, but she was not like the #1 it girl famous of modeling, because they're not going to pay $393 an hour to a fucking loser, but they're also not going to pay like Tyra Banks $393 an hour. You know what I mean? Like models that are like famous make like a lot of fucking money for like one photo shoot. So clearly she's successful, but clearly her best days are ahead of her. So here's more pics. Serving, absolutely serving. The hair, like, really, for real. That head start came in handy. So during this time that she was like in college, she also met Andrew Stewart. He was finishing his law degree at Yale. They married in 1961, and she returned to Bernard a year after their marriage to graduate with a double major in history and architectural history. So like we already said. And here's their wedding photo. Side note, her mom and her made her dress together. I think that's just like really cute and really hometown that her and her mom made the dress together. That's very cute and gorgeous to me. No one else? All right. So their only child, Alexis, was born in 1965. I could not find a baby photo of Alexis. So here is Alexis with her mom pretty recently. She was only 19. But think about, like, it was literally the 60s. That was, like, so fucking normal back then. You know? Architectural history is so cute and niche. It really, really is. Fuck, I just got here. It's okay. We have not gotten to the craziest things yet. So, in 1967, she began her second career as a stockbroker. Like, okay, women on fucking Wall Street. After graduating from college and getting married, Martha took up a career as an institutional stockbroker. Here you can see her on her daily commute from her apartment in the Upper West Side to work on Lower Broadway. She's on the subway. She's reading her paper. People died at 40, 50, so 19 was kind of... I was literally watching your YouTube recording on frats and hazing. Oh my god, stop. That was a good one. I'm having like heartburn because I ate too much. So, Andrew Stewart founded a publishing house during this time. That's her husband. And he served as chief executive of several others. Andrew and Martha Stewart moved to Westport, Connecticut, where they bought and restored an old farmhouse from 1805 on Turkey Hill Road. And that house later became the model for her TV show, Martha Stewart Living. And this is the project that her like love for decorating really started to pop off in. And this house is fucking gorgeous. Let me tell you. Look at this. Westport, Connecticut. It was $46,000 when they bought it. They bought that for $46,000 in the 70s, in 1970. Let me do that inflation calculator again. 46,570. And today, that is $366,000 and $366,907. That's insane. There's no way this house in this area today cost less than that. No fucking way. That is insane. That is crazy. If someone told me they bought this house in Westport, Connecticut for $360,000, I'd be like, oh, did you kill someone in it and that's why the price dropped so low? Because you murdered someone in it and now it's a murder house and that's how you got it for that price? Easily would be $3 million today. Easily. Don't even have to think about it. Would definitely be $3 million. So here's some pics of her and her husband. Not all of these pics are at their house, but some of them are. I didn't even read Westport. I'm shooting higher. No, the 366 is in today's money. They purchased it in 1970 for $46,000. And if you account for regular inflation, it takes you to 366. Housing inflation is so much fucking higher than regular inflation that we're saying the actual house would be like millions of dollars. Oh, Maddie, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Love that. All right, so here's Martha and her husband doing their thing, living their life. They got chickens, they got a pool, they're cooking together, fucking whatever, man. So in 1976, Martha Stewart started a catering business in her basement with her friend from her modeling days, Norma Collier. The venture quickly became successful, but soured when Collier alleged that Stewart was difficult to work with and was also taking catering jobs on the side. So I guess Martha Stewart was like girl bossing and not involving Norma. Stewart soon bought Collier's portion of the business. So Martha was like, fuck you, bitch. I'll just buy the whole business and do it myself. Stewart was also hired as the manager of a gourmet food store, the Market Basket, but after disagreements with the owner at the mini ball, she was forced out and she opened her own store. So I really resonate with Martha Stewart and the fact that I'm very difficult to work with and hate other people. Because that's so valid, that 2 businesses in a row. She was like, you know what? I hate you. I'm just going to do my own thing. And this is such a rich husband energy. Like, no shade. I would love to be able to exude that energy. But just quitting and opening your own store, that is such rich husband behavior. Such rich husband behavior. Hilarious. She was making side pizza money. So, Andrew had become president of a prominent New York City publisher, Harry N. Abrams. Again, rich husband energy. And in 1977, he was responsible for releasing the English language edition of the Secret Book of Gnomes series, which, like, all right, man, whatever. It quickly became a blockbuster success and on the New York Times bestseller list, and he contracted Stewart's company to cater the book release party. I love a husband nepotism. I could never be a Nepo baby, even though I'm kind of a Nepo baby, but I could be a Nepo wife for fucking sure. I love a Nepo wife. A Nepo wife to me, like that, you're working. You know what I mean? Because like whatever, because this is what men do. They come home and they tell you about what happened at work, and then you give them advice. So like that's your career. Like you ate that, Martha. You did that. So fuck yeah, reap the benefits. Cater that party. Cater that party. Who needs nepotism when you're hot? Get a nepo husband, girl. Wait, fiction or nonfiction? About the gnomes, I'm assuming fiction, but now I'm scared. So, at the book release party, Alan Merkin was there. He was head of Crown Publishing Group, so a different publisher. And Merkin was like, damn, Martha Stewart, you are very talented, because he really liked her food and thought she was a really good hostess, which is hard because most people that are good at cooking are not great at being host. Like they're focused on their cooking, so they're not great at like hosting, or maybe they're kind of introverted, whatever. So the fact that Martha Stewart is crushing both of them, I would have taken notice too. Absolutely. So, so he later contacted her to develop a cookbook featuring recipes and photos from the parties that she had hosted, and this was her first book. It was called Entertaining, and it was ghost written by Elizabeth Hawes. Ghost writing is basically when someone writes for you, but you tell them the things. So like they'll interview you and then they write what you said, or sometimes they'll write like an outline and then you kind of fill in the details. It's basically a ghostwriter's job is when someone who's not a writer needs to write a book, they help them with the writing part of it. Like the writer's usually still coming up with the ideas, but the ghostwriter is like writing it in book format, because most people don't know how to write a book. It's a lot to write. So remember to drink the water. Thank you. So here is her first book, Entertaining with Martha Stewart. Literally, there was a seed. There's a lemon seed in my water. I hate when that happens because the girlie has fresh lemon in her water. Entertaining with Martha Stewart. She looks so exactly, oh my God, not there being another lemon seed in it. She looks so exactly how I expected her to look. Like, she's giving hostess, she's giving traditional, she's giving Thanksgiving. Like, absolutely, this is the aura that we expect from Miss Martha Stewart. It's only $123 on Amazon. I feel like that's a good deal. $123 for literally the most important piece of American history. To me, this is more important than the Constitution. If that ever gets clipped and played at a school board meeting, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. Absolutely screwed. New fundraiser, Martha Stewart cookbooks. You better get a cut from this sale. Okay, so following the success of her book Entertaining, she released more books. Here's a list of them. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically she has a shit ton of books. Cookbooks, weddings, everything you could think of. Martha Stewart's Christmas. She also authored tons of newspaper columns, magazine articles, and other pieces on homemaking, and made numerous television appearances, such as The Oprah Winfrey Show and Larry King Live. So Martha is fully famous now. Like, she's fully a famous person, fully in her moment, doing her books. And again, Nepo wife. I love a Nepo wife. I love that for her. Because again, the way she got the book published, it's not like her husband was like, yeah, sweetie, I'll publish your book. Her husband was like, yeah, girl, cater this fucking party for my work. Thanks. And then she was like, I'm going to eat this catering job. And then a different guy at the party was like, damn, girl, you ate this catering job. I should hire you to write a book. And that is why you should always try your best on things. That's so fucking corny, but it's so true that, like, you never know who is around. So, like, Martha Stewart could have fucking slacked off and done a shitty job because it's her husband. And obviously your husband's not going to fire you. So she could have just been like, whatever. I'm just going to, like, half-ass this. I'm just going to use old recipes and just, like, not be that creative. But no, Martha Stewart said, I am going to eat this. This is going to be the best party these fuckers have ever seen. And then she became a famous person. So you should always take advantage of the nepotism opportunities that life presents us to you. We need the book so we can learn to be Nepo wives. Stop. Your high school teacher personality is coming out. I love it. No, you really do need to try your best on It's because I've had to say that for 2 hours today. Try your best. So anyway, Andrew and Martha Stewart separated in 1987, which I also just want to cross-reference that with the list. Her weddings book came out in 1987. Interesting. And then they officially divorced in 1990. Martha really said, get that bread, get that head, then leave. But they were married 30 years, so I don't really think you can say that she just married him for like social gains because they literally were married for 30 years and had a child. You know? 30 years is a long time. My corny ass every day. You can do it, I believe. The way it literally works, though. So, foreshadowing. She said, yeah, I'm going to come out with a book about weddings. No special reason. No reason at all. She could have been playing the long game. I also respect that. I also really respect that. And I also want to say, when I said Nepo wife, I really meant that because this is the thing. Think about the time she was coming up in. Like, she was a stockbroker and she probably realized, she was like, this working world is not for women and I'm always going to be held back. So I'm going to make my husband be successful as fuck and then I'll just kind of reap benefits off of that. Which to me is like, yeah, you're an ambitious queen, like making the best out of your circumstances. And I think she realized that she could attain more power and wealth for her family unit through her husband than through her own work. So to me, like, strategic. Um, try your best. Me to all of my art students who kept saying, I can't do it, just draw a line. Just draw a line is so real because it was like, I turned this in, why did I get a 0? And I was like, I sent it back to you because it wasn't in your own words. And he was like, I have to put it in my own words? This is way too much work. And I was like, it's literally school. Like, I'm so sorry, but it's school. Like, what did you think this was? So, time to get into some rumors. This is from a Daily Mail article, so I just want to say I have no idea if this stuff is true, but I'm choosing to believe it's true because I feel that it is iconic. So apparently when she was 72, she was on the cover of Hot Magazine. This is an old article. So she's been divorced, blah, blah, blah. Basically, this guy, his name is Oppenheimer. He wrote a book about Martha Stewart, and this is an interview with him. He wrote a book, like, shit-talking Martha Stewart. It was a bestseller. He said, I was shocked and upset that Martha is still looking for a man in her life after a terrible history through the years with men. One, Oppenheimer, no one fucking asked you to start off. And then he said, she had a hellish marriage of more than a quarter century during which she treated her husband shabbily. It was a horrific union that ended in a nasty divorce. In writing Just Desserts, which is his book about her, dozens of close friends and family members described to me how she had grown up in a family ruled by a mean-spirited father and how, in a way, she showed herself to be both a man chaser, a man hater, and a driven, ambitious woman who played fast and loose in business and even in her marriage. That is the nicest thing anyone could say about me. I would be so happy if someone said that. If someone said you're a man chaser, man hater, and driven, ambitious woman who plays fast and loose in business and your marriage, thank you, Barbie. Like, thank you. Thank you. He tried to read, but fan. And what about it? He sounds lame, but Just Desserts is a great title. So, where was I? Even Martha deserves love and happiness, and I hope she finds it. He is so in love with her, it's not even funny. Unless now in her 70s, she's considerably mellowed. I think finding Mr. Right is going to be a tough road for her. So, we already kind of talked about that, so we'll skip that. I just copy and pasted the whole article into here. So when they were engaged, apparently Martha didn't like the ring that Andy had given her and demanded that he get her a bigger one, so he did. And again, like, everything we're going through makes me like her more. It makes me like her a lot more. So she complained about her engagement ring. He got her a better one, and she kept him waiting at the altar on their wedding day. So apparently she was late to their wedding, and she was then a student trying to do her modeling. When he graduated from Yale Law School, they celebrated with a trip to Europe. They were in a small hotel in Florence, Italy, where they met a handsome young Englishman at the hotel bar and drank with him. A little tipsy by the end of the night, Andy wanted to go to bed, but Martha didn't. Upset and angry, Andy went to bed alone while Martha went off with her new friend. Long after midnight, she returned, claiming they had gone to midnight mass at the cathedral. According to the book, Martha's actions that night raised questions in her groom, Andy, about whether she really loved him. Like, what? Midnight mass? Midnight mass. Be so serious, Martha. Martha, it's your honeymoon. I often go to midnight mass with elusive, attractive men. Hosier Take Me to Church starts playing. I was just being a good Catholic woman. She's like, literally, I did nothing wrong. I was at midnight mass, just like I told you I was. I don't see why you have any questions. But, again, told you it was going to make you like her more. According to close Martha Stewart sources, questioned by Oppenheimer, Martha treated Andy shabbily. One insider recalled Martha would start arguments over the most trivial subjects, and they would go on and on. You didn't load the car right. How could you take so long getting the car unloaded? Why are you so sloppy? How could you forget this or that? I agree with her. I bet he did a terrible job unloading and reloading the car, because, of course he did. And she would know the best way to do it. She's Martha fucking Stewart. So, her manner with Andy became the source of much stress and anxiety and anger. She was constantly accusing him of being dumb or stupid. She's just like me, for real. There were times where there was utter and complete tension, long hostility-filled silences between them that you could cut with a knife. Staff people who worked at their West Point home in Turkey Hill began calling it Turkey Hell because of the way they saw Martha treating her husband like a dog turd. One of the chefs recalled that Martha was always shrieking at Andy. One day she was... I'm so nauseous. One day she was hollering at him to do something for her. She came tearing out of the house. Andy was down on his knees working on the garden with his Walkman, a CD player on, and Martha was standing at the top of the slope with her hands on her hip, shrieking, Andy! Andy! Get your ass up here this minute! I have other work for you to do. She's everything, and he's just Ken. So Kathy Tatlock, a filmmaker who was a close friend of Martha and Andy, recalled that she and her husband accompanied them on a vacation to Bogota, and Andy had gotten seriously ill. He had horrendous systemic and local staph infection, and he developed horrible green pustules on his face. Martha, who had a way with her words and wonderful little terms, called them greeny meanies. So... sounds very much like Andy from The Office. I feel like he was just the wallet and she was the mastermind. No, literally. He was her vessel to get money and power through his career, and I guess they divorced because she was like, now I have money and power in my career, and all you do is piss me off, so why would you still be here in my house that I decorated? You know? This popping so hard, he just shut the fuck up for 30 years. Boy, bye. It gets worse. Just by the way, it gets so much crazier. We're literally only like a third of the way through this article, and it gets so much fucking crazier. So, Martha was furious that Andy's illness put a damper on the getaway because she was afraid Andy's illness was going to ruin her vacation. She was angry that he had gotten sick, actually angry at him and was punishing him. It was shocking and disturbing. It's not funny. You should never make fun of a sick person. Obviously. Tatlock told Oppenheimer that she had witnessed other instances of verbal abuse of Andy by Martha and initially dismissed it as just Martha being mad at the world. That's just Martha's modus operandi. I think that means like mode of operation. After the Stewarts had their one and only child, Alexis, they moved from the apartment in Manhattan to Connecticut where they bought the estate, like we already talked about. Boring, boring, boring. So apparently they were very social and did a lot of entertaining, including what the book claimed to be very small select groups of couples and singles in the early swinging 70s. So again, this is from a Daily Mail article. I don't know if this is true, Martha, if you're watching, but if it's true, it makes me like you more. So the book quotes one of Martha's close friends at the time, Norma Collier, a high fashion model who became her her in a successful catering business as stating that Martha's parties were on the wild side. I knew they had nude pool parties. Martha told me these parties were happening, and she told me that she was not inviting my husband and I because she knew we were uptight Republicans, wet blankets. Stop. To literally tell this woman, yeah, I do have nude pool parties and I don't invite you because I think you're an uptight Republican in a wet blanket. Stop. Like, Martha fucking daggers away. Like, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Martha was not embarrassed by any of this. She said it was fun and she liked it. She's an experimental person and will do anything to get kicks or shock people. Oh my god. Like, that is my favorite thing ever. Like, that is the biggest read of all time. To say that to someone, that is absolutely insane. So, at one of those parties, Martha was spotted in the lap of her husband's colleague, and who was quoted in the book saying, "There was a lot of chemistry going both ways between Martha and me back then. Martha was just great looking." She is an icon. She is an icon. So she had an incredible sort of porcelain skin. It was remarkable the way she looked, so delicate, yet there was nothing delicate about her in terms of her personality. At that stage in life, I had a history of being involved with challenging women, so maybe that was part of our thing. Oh my god. And just say, like, okay, self-aware king. He really said, I was in my toxic era, so I was really into Martha Stewart, not into it anymore. So, Martha and Andy often had squabbles. During one of these angry moments, Martha declared that she had slept with another man while in LA on a business trip. Andy was floored, but Martha dismissed it as a one-time thing. Merely an experiment. She really said, yeah, and I did fuck someone in LA and be mad about it because I'm not. It wasn't even that big of a deal. Oh my god. No, this quote is not from her ex-husband. This is from her ex-husband's co-worker who flirted with her and she sat on his lap at parties. That's who said that about her. Not her husband. Her husband's co-worker, which is way funnier. Way, way, way funnier. So, it takes two to tango. The book also states that Andy had been unfaithful during the tumultuous marriage. A friend of them was quoted saying they were having a huge argument and the subject of affairs came up. Also, can I just say, I love how often they're fighting in public. I love how often they are fighting in social gatherings to the point that so many people told this man about it for his book. They were having a huge argument and the subject of affairs came up in the context that it had been a two-way thing. Martha asked Andy for details, but he was reluctant to tell her anything other than to say yes, he had done that, and so had she. Martha was apparently also described as offering Andy as a sexual partner to her close friend Norma Collier. Norma Collier, I think, might be bullshitting, but it's still funny. Martha and I were driving to an apple orchard in her truck. I was unburdening myself to her because it was the end of my marriage. I had no relationship with my husband at the time, and to my amazement, Martha said, F, you can't sleep with your husband, you can sleep with Andy. He's really good. He'll do anything you tell him to. Andy has always been in love with you. You can have him. Oh my god. She's like, fuck my husband. I don't give a shit. You don't want to fuck yours? Fuck mine. I don't care. I laughed and said, Martha, you've got to be kidding. And she said, no, he's really very good in bed. I said, I'm not going to share your husband. It's bizarre. And in the book, the author quotes friends and associates who claimed they witnessed other scenes where she emotionally mistreated her husband. And it was around the time that her weddings book came out. She's passing him around so casually. She literally does not care. So they had an open relationship, but neither party knew. This is an open relationship without any communication. That's what this is right here. Like, this is an open relationship with no boundaries and no communication at all. I told y'all this shit was crazy. So, Apparently, Martha was devastated when they got divorced, making it all the worse that he had taken up with a new wife who was 20 years younger. I always say, whatever someone does when they're freshly divorced, that is how you learn if they're a good person. And he immediately married someone 20 years younger. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? Immediately you go marry someone 20 years younger? Okay. It was Robin Whitney Fairclough, who was Martha's flower arranging and styling consultant. And what Robin found sort of weird is that Martha would always say, "You and Andy would be perfect together." I love how she keeps pawning him off. I think she probably just said she was devastated, like, for the press. She was like, "Oh my god, it's so sad. Yeah, I'm getting divorced and I have a book about weddings. Whatever." She probably didn't give a shit. Because she's been trying to pass him off forever. Reddy's and it post. Am I the asshole for divorcing my wife of 30 years than marrying a younger woman? Oh my god. But anyway, Martha used to push them together laughing about it, which was more of a put down of the two of them. It was sadistic. But apparently, eventually, Andy married this lady and they started a family, but apparently they got divorced later. So I think he was the problem. But that is that whole Daily Mail article. I so appreciate that you guys were here for me reading it in entirety, because I think that that was so, so important. Like that, even if some of it was gossip, it could have been not real. I think it's so important that we talked about that and discussed that. I really think that that was important for society. So back where we left off was them getting divorced. So these are going to be the only mentions of her dating life for the rest of the stream, because I quite literally don't give a shit, because nothing was as interesting as what we just read. But apparently she dated Anthony Hopkins right after, but then she dumped him because she saw Silence of the Lambs, and she said that she started viewing him as the cannibal, or the character of Hannibal Lecter, so she dumped him because the movie freaked her out, I guess, which, like, literally valid. Martha said, "I'm sorry, I watched Silence of the Lambs and I have the ick. I can't anymore, you know?" What's happening here? Oh, Curtis on chat. Then Stewart dated a billionaire, Charles Simonyi, who was an early employee of Microsoft and head of their software group. They dated on and off for 15 years, and she featured footage of him as a space tourist aboard Suze in her television show. They broke up around February 2008, apparently. So they were on and off for 15 years. That's her man's, I guess. So in 1990, Stewart signed with Time Publishing Ventures to develop a new magazine, Martha Stewart Living, and she was the editor-in-chief. It peaked in circulation in 2002 with more than 2 million copies per issue. 1993 is when she began her TV show, Martha Stewart Living, and it was based on her magazine, and eventually it was expanded to weekdays, and later a full hour show in 1999 with half-hour episodes on weekends. So she was like in her Oprah era of being on TV every single day, which I love that for her. She also became a frequent contributor to NBC's Today Show and to CBS's The Early Show, and starred in several primetime holiday specials on the CBS network. And then on the cover of the May 1995 issue of New York Magazine, it declared Stewart the definitive American woman of our time. So here is her in 1996 on television. It's 46 minutes. We're not going to watch the whole thing. So blurry.
Well, it's December again, and at my house, we begin our celebrating right here at the front door, where I welcome my friends with a holiday wreath. This year, a fantastic snowflake wreath. In the next hour, I'm looking forward to sharing some ideas that might become part of your celebrations. With my special guests, basketball legend Michael Jordan, the incomparable Miss Piggy, and
I didn't watch this in advance.
Franz, and my own friends and family. It's an hour of holiday inspirations, and whether you make a wreath or a handmade gift, choose a farm-grown tree or ice your first gingerbread cookies. I hope it will start.
This is going to be my new favorite thing I watch. I can already tell. This is so calming.
Welcome to my home for the holidays. Come on, Maxie.
Yeah, she does have chow chows, the dogs. I think, what's her name? Chelsea Handler does too. Loving the graphics. Martha Holiday ASMR. Miss Piggy is crazy. Not the credits at the beginning. Creative consultant, Nigel Noble. No, like, I'm gonna watch this tomorrow. Literally, okay, get to the thing. There we go. The holidays don't slap like this anymore. They really don't. Whose kids are these? Okay, I'm skipping.
But keep the cat out of the tree, and if you have toddlers, the toddlers won't go up and push the tree over very quickly, that's for sure. But now, as opposed to a fir, what do you think?
Okay, well, so they're doing tree shit.
Secure and in place. Hi, Martha. Oh, Chris, hi. How are you?
Okay, so that is what her show was like. I wish we could watch the whole thing. I honestly could. So here's her New York Magazine cover. This is the only photo I could find. Literally every photo I could find of this was so fucking blurry, and this was the best one. I don't know why New York Magazine is trying to censor the past and act like this never happened, because when I looked up the month and I looked up like New York Magazine, May 1995, different shit was coming up. But I found it. I don't know why they're trying to lie to us and act like this didn't happen, but it did. She's Martha Stewart and you're not. Go ahead and snicker, but that crazed blue chip perfectionist has made her the definitive American woman of our time. I don't really understand that headline, but okay. So, in September 97, with the assistance of her business partner, she was able to secure funding to purchase various television, print, and merchandising ventures related to the Martha Stewart brand and consolidate them into a new company, Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia. So that's her company. She is the chairwoman, president, and CEO, and Patrick, who was her business partner, became chief operations officer, and by organizing all of the brand's assets under one roof, she thought she could promote synergy and have greater control over the brand's direction through business activities. So basically what that means is if your TV show is owned by this network, and your magazine is owned by these people, and your home goods line is owned by this company, those companies tell you what to do. Like, they're like, we want you to be on a Southern vibe. We want you to be on a New England vibe. Like, they kind of tell you what to do. So she was like, I want to own all my own stuff and put it under the same thing so that I can decide what direction to go in, and like everything can kind of match each other and like be cohesive, and I can like really curate the vibe as opposed to doing a bunch of different things for a bunch of different people. So Martha Stewart, very savvy businesswoman. A Martha Stewart Paris Hilton collab would go dummy. Yeah, it really would. The same month, Martha Stewart announced in Martha Stewart Living that the launch of a companion website and catalog business called Martha by Mail, and it also had a direct-to-consumer floral business. And then in 1999, her company went public under the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol MSO. It was originally offered at $18 a share and then rallied to $38 a share, which would be $67 in today's money. The stock price slowly went below 16% per share in February 2002. She was then and continues to be the majority shareholder, commanding 96% control of voting power in the company. So if you don't understand stocks, let me just explain it to you right now. And I want to see if this is still an active stock. So I'm going to Google it. What is the Martha Stewart stock symbol? So her stock price is like not that good right now, but no one's is. Hers has been going down throughout the year. Yeah, her stock price is not good. Right now it's $8.51, which is not great, but it used to be more. But anyway, let me explain stocks to you. So basically, stocks are a little piece of a company. Like, you get to buy a piece of the company and you're like, this little nugget of the company is mine. So when the company makes a lot of money, your nugget is worth more and you can sell it to somebody, and that's how you make money off of it. So because you own a nugget of the company, you have certain rights and you get to vote on shit sometimes. So if I own a company, I don't want to give too many nuggets away, because if I give more than half of my nuggets away, I don't have control anymore and I can be outvoted. So Martha Stewart still has 96% of her nuggets. So it doesn't really fucking matter what other people want. It matters what Martha wants because she has the majority. Does that make sense? I hate having to learn about stocks. I'm afraid to invest in stocks. Get a financial advisor. I know it sounds really intimidating, but it's really not that bad. Like if you open an investment account, like let's say you open an investment account like with like Wells Fargo or something. Usually you get automatically assigned somebody and they call you and they're like, "Hi." Depends how much money you have. But yeah, get a financial advisor. Ask if they're a fiduciary. A fiduciary means they legally have to give you good advice and cannot fuck you over. And then just have them do everything and listen to that. 100% what she says I'm saying with fidelity. Yeah, it does feel fake and it's like really a joke, but like that's what I would recommend is find somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, don't do Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo sucks. I just came up with like a big bank that I thought of. But you do any bank. So if you don't like dealing with it and it's confusing and overwhelming to you, literally just find a financial advisor, tell them what your goals are, and listen to whatever the fuck they say. Like, just listen to what they say. Find a good one. Ask your friends if anybody has someone that they like. But anyway, back to Martha Stewart. So, what we came for, her stock trading case and her conviction. If you did not know, Martha Stewart has been to prison, and we're going to talk about why. So, according to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, Martha Stewart avoided a loss of $45,000 by selling all of her shares of I'm Clone stock on December 27th, 2001, after she received non-public information from Peter Baknovic, her broker at Merrill Lynch. Merrill Lynch is also like a investment banking thing you could open an account at. So the day following her sale, the stock value fell at 16%. So what the fuck does this mean? Basically, this is illegally, because when you are a stock owner or when you're a company, daddy government says you have to make all your shit public about your stocks. So like when something bad happens, the public knows about it, like that's going to affect your stock price. So you got to be like really upfront with your information and you can't be having secrets and shit. So basically, daddy government says make all the info public first for the stockholders. So if you know a secret, like let's say, actually let me use like a more concrete example to explain this. So let's say I own Coca-Cola stock. And I am making money off of it. I'm living my best life. Let's say my friend works at Coca-Cola. She calls me and says, redacted. Tomorrow, Coca-Cola is going to announce that they're taking sugar out of everything. I'm going to sell all my Coca-Cola stock because once they announce that, the stock price is going to plummet because people are going to be like, that is really fucking bad and I don't like that. So your stock price is going to go down if people are mad at your company. So the fact that Martha Stewart sold a ton of stock, no, Bank of America owns Merrill Lynch. The fact that Martha Stewart sold a ton of stock right before the price plummeted, it's like, what did you know? You knew a secret. You knew something that you were not supposed to know. And conversely, if you are like a CEO, you're supposed to like keep that shit quiet until it can be public for everybody. So she went to jail because she has friends. So what stock did she even own? To clarify, this is not her stock. This is not her company. It's I'm Clone Systems. This is a biopharmaceutical company. So they make drugs and shit, I don't know, science. So, in the months following, Stewart drew heavy media scrutiny, including a Newsweek cover headlined Martha's Mess. And on June 25th, CBS anchor Jane Carlson grilled Stewart on air about her regular segment, and Stewart continued chopping cabbage and responded, "I want to focus on my salad." So, when it came out that she did this shit and people were mad about it, I want to focus on my salad. Period. I want to focus on my salad. And a ton of people get away with this. That's another important thing is that a ton of people have done this and not faced any consequences. Like Congress. I put this in here, but I didn't say it. So like a lot of the Congress, literally the United States Congress, when they learned about COVID in like a briefing, They went and like bought stock of pharmaceutical companies that make vaccines. Like, not to sound like a QAnoner, but that did happen. So like that is literally insider trading. You are getting information that is not available to the public and making stock decisions based on that. That is illegal and not allowed. I want to focus on my salad. I do want to make that as merch, but I don't want to disrespect Martha Stewart like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to give her the money. So that's what she did that was wrong. Is it okay? No. Is it legal? No. Do tons of people do it and never face any consequences? Yes. That's just where we're at. So on October 3rd, 2002, she resigned from her position because she was on the board of directors of the New York Stock Exchange. So that's not great if you get accused of insider trading and you're on the board. And then on June 4th, 2003, she was indicted by a grand jury on 9 counts, including charges of securities fraud and obstruction of justice. So let's get into the timeline of everything that happened. So going back to 2001, I'm Cloned Systems, whatever, fucking company founder Sam Waskill is tipped that the Food and Drug Administration will decline to review the company's application for its cancer drug, and then he tells his daughter to sell the stock and he sells his own. So this is insider trading. The company founder finds out that the FDA is going to basically deny their application, so he sells stock on December 26th. Tells his daughter to sell stock as well. So, because he knew the stock price is going to plummet when they find out we got rejected. Our stock will be worth nothing, so let me sell it now so that I don't lose money. So then December 27th, the next day, Martha Stewart sells her shares. Prosecutors say that she was tipped that Waskill was trying to sell his shares. So what they think happened is someone told her that the founder is selling his shares, and that's why she sold her shares. Not because she knew about the FDA, but she was like, oh, the founder is selling? I should sell too, which is still, I think, counts as insider trading, I guess. So December 28th, that is when the FDA makes its decision public, and then the stock price drops by 18%. So I watched a movie based on this information. What movie? So basically, they sold stock, then the stock price went down a lot. They would have lost money. They avoided that loss. So January 7th, Martha Stewart's broker, Peter Baknovic, tells the SEC that he and Martha Stewart agreed on December 20th. If the price drops below 60, sell all of it. So their argument is basically, it's a coincidence that we sold it on that day. We had already talked about selling it a week prior, and that was the plan. So then February 4th, 2002, Stewart tells the SEC that she had an agreement with Baknovic to sell the stock when it fell to $60 per share. So when they were interviewed separately, her and her stockbroker said the exact same thing. They said, yeah, we decided if it went below 60, we were going to sell it. That's why we sold it. It's just kind of gambling. It is. It very much is gambling. This is just gambling for the rich. So then February 4th, 2002, I already read that. Then June 12th, 2002, Waskill, the company founder, is arrested and charged with insider trading. Stewart issues a statement repeating her assertion that the sale came about because of that $60 agreement. Then October 2nd, 2002, former Merrill Lynch & Company assistant Douglas Faneuil pleads guilty to taking a payoff to keep quiet about the Stewart stock trade. So that's the kicker. That's all right. So, and just to give you context, the assistant is really important because this is what happens. If you're let's say I'm Martha Stewart. I call my financial advisor, what was his name? Baknovic. I call Baknovic, I'm Martha Stewart, and I'm like, hey, Baknovic, I want to sell all of this stock. And he says, thanks, Martha. Great plan. You're a legend and a goddess, and I appreciate you. I've learned so much from you. We'll sell that stock. He usually does not go in and click all the little numbers himself because Baknovic is an important guy. He's a financial advisor to the celebrity. He's busy. He has shit to do. So he's going to email his assistant and say, Martha wants to sell this. And his assistant is going to be the one that actually types in the little numbers. So the fact that the assistant is like, they paid me to keep quiet, that is really fucking bad. Like, that is so illegal. It's actually really, really not fucking okay how illegal that is. Like, and that's the thing. Assistants get training on that, and they're supposed to report it if something happens. If my stockbroker doesn't call me a goddess in times of crisis, I'm finding a new broker. So then, June 4th, Stewart and Baknovic are indicted on 1 of 9 federal counts. Like we said, Stewart resigns as chairwoman and CEO of her company, but she remained chief creative officer and board member. So she resigned as CEO from her company, again, because this is a publicly traded company and the CEO has a lot of legal responsibilities. So because she's being investigated, it was the wise decision for her to step down as CEO because like her company did nothing wrong. So it was smart to be like, let me distance myself a little bit. And she's still the chief creative officer. So that means like she's in charge of all like the decision making of like products and things like that and like branding, but not like the stock price shit. Not financial advice, but I don't know anything about stock. Not you afraid of getting sued. So then on June 10th, Waskell is sentenced to 7 years in prison. So the founder got sentenced to 7 years in prison. Yikes. Then November 7th, 2003, Martha Stewart tells ABC News that she's scared and says, I don't think I'll go to prison, though. Bad news. I have bad news. Bad news. So, January 27th, 2004, prosecutors claim in an opening statement that Stewart sold I'm Clone based on a secret tip and then lied to cover it up. Stewart's attorney compares this with 1984. All right. Then February 3rd, Faneuil testifies that Baknovic ordered him to tell Stewart that Waskell was telling the stock. Faneuil claims that Baknovic pressured him repeatedly to cover it up. Then February 10th, Stewart's assistant Ann Armstrong testifies that Stewart personally altered the log of a message that Bracknock left on the day that Stewart sold I'm Clone, but Armstrong also says Stewart ordered the message changed back and never asked her to lie. So the assistants are really like the star of the show. Then on February 27th, the judge throws out the security fraud count against Martha Stewart. But again, keep in mind, she had lots of other charges against her. And then on March 5th, Stewart was convicted of all charges, and Baknovic is convicted on all but one charge of falsifying a document. So, very bad. She's found guilty. Then on March 15th, and what day did that happen again? Yeah, March 5th. So on March 15th, she resigns from the board of Martha Stewart Living Omnia Media, but she retains the title of founding editorial director. And then producers confirm that the Martha Stewart TV show will be suspended after the current season. And I just want to say, what happened to free speech? What happened to that? Oh, because you committed stock fraud? Now you can't have your TV show about decor? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do? We'll talk about her prison sentence, don't worry. She didn't report for a while later. So July 8th, the judge refuses to grant Stewart and Baknovic a new trial based on perjury charges against Larry Stewart, a Secret Service Inc. expert who prosecutors say lied on the witness stand. He was later acquitted. So they tried to get the case redone. The judge said no. And then Martha Stewart and Baknovic are each sentenced to 5 months in prison and 5 months of home confinement for lying about the stock sale. That keeps happening. So again, she got mainly in trouble for lying, not so much the actual sale, and she gets sentenced to 5 months in prison. So on October 8th, she reports to Alderson Federal Prison Camp in rural West Virginia, and she had to get fingerprinted and strip searched. Martha Stewart, America's sweetheart, getting strip searched at the prison. So here is some news coverage from 2004.
The sign at the local diner says it all. Welcome, Martha. Welcome to Alderson, West Virginia, the prison town that will be Martha Stewart's home for the next 5 months. But this is not a vacation. This is a sentence. Martha Stewart turning herself in tomorrow morning. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Nina Pineda.
This is the A-lister world Martha Stewart leaves behind. Her social set paraded past the paparazzi into the wedding reception of Susan Magrino, Stewart's publicist, and plenty of invited guests expected her to show.
If I were in this situation, I would come and party and have a good time.
She went to the Bahamas on a vacation, and now she's going to her publicist and friend's wedding party. That's what every normal person should do before they're sent away, because this is her last chance.
Apparently, she also hired a prison coach to teach her what prison was like.
Chance to see friends before becoming inmate 55170-054 at Alderson Prison in Charleston, West Virginia.
I'd really hate to see her go. But anyway, she'll handle it.
Stewart will have to steel herself for a life of bunk beds, shared showers and toilets, a rigid 6 a.m. wake-up bell, a daily prison job, and no privacy. Prison guards have said they can't guarantee the famous inmate won't be harassed.
Are we going to be able to follow her around and make sure that no inmate bothers her? No. She's going to let the shower.
Is that what I sound like at work? I think that's literally what I sound like at work. Are we going to follow her around and make sure she's not being harassed? No. That's so funny.
In an area that 60 other women are trying to use as well. I think it was 4 or 5 toilets, 2 sinks. She has to share a blow dryer. Curling iron.
The anticipation of their newest resident has turned the small town of Alderson into a media camp awaiting her arrival, while her New York pals lament her departure.
I don't know what she's doing there when OJ is still walking around.
So
This is incredible. I didn't even watch this beforehand, but it's perfect.
media waited with great anticipation, but Martha Stewart decided to spend her last night of freedom away from the glare of the spotlight. Tomorrow, she trades that glare for surveillance of a different kind. On the east side, Nina Pineda, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
So, Martha Stewart reporting to prison. This is from an article titled Camp Cupcake. Take a tour of America's cushiest prison, because apparently the nickname for this place is Camp Cupcake because it's minimum security and it's way nicer than most prisons. So here's some pictures from this article of this prison. You already saw this, but this is the aerial view. This is the administration building. This literally looks like a college campus building. I know that's the admin building and not where the prisoners are, but that literally looks like the Florida State Office of Financial Aid. When you showed that pic earlier, I thought it was a mansion, so that checks out. Here's what the rooms look like. This to me is is it nicer than the average American prison? Absolutely. But also, I think the average American prison is a violation of people's human rights. So I'm fine with this. This does not look particularly wrong to me. I think that this is exactly what a prison should look like. Is it comfortable? Does it have frills? Is it personal? No. But it's humane. This looks nicer than my college dorm that I'm in debt for. Exactly. A little worse than a dorm, and I think that's, yeah. To me, this reminds me of when you look at a German prison, and you're yeah, that is prison while still being respectful of people's human rights. It's humane. It is. Here is the prison officials handing out statements to the press about Martha Stewart's arrival. They're literally so dramatic. They're fucking eating this moment up. Those prison officials are let me go in the front. I want to be in the camera. Here is inmates walking the grounds of the complex. They appear to be doing some kind of yard work. Usually in prisons, they don't have people that work there other than the guards. The inmates do all the cooking and cleaning and all of that sort of thing. So Apparently, in the 30s and 40s, they had sewing classes at this prison, but they don't have that anymore. Budget cuts, I guess. And apparently, during the 40s, Billie Holiday stayed at this prison. She is a famous jazz singer and songwriter, and she was there for drug possession, which, you know, everybody makes mistakes, but I just thought that that was an interesting historical crossover that Billie Holiday stayed at the same prison as Martha Stewart. Get ready with me, Martha Stewart is my new cellmate. Imagine, I would be like, oh, she would literally request a transfer immediately. She'd be like, she doesn't shut the fuck up. She's been asking me for career advice nonstop. She would be so over me. So over me. So, although Martha Stewart asked to be incarcerated in Connecticut or Florida so that her elderly mother could visit her, her sentence was in West Virginia. Like we said, it is Camp Cupcake. It is a 159-acre minimum security prison camp in West Virginia. It was built in 1928. It was the first federal prison for women, and it employs a reformatory model of justice in which no barbed wire is used and inmates are housed in cottages that can house up to 60 other women. So again, like, I feel like instead of being like, why is Martha getting so much better treatment than most prisoners, we should be like, why do we treat most prisoners like that? You know what I mean? So inmates are given access to email, a television room, a library, a hospital, a chapel, an education building, and a common area, but they spend most of their time working, and they're also able to take part in apprenticeship programs for teaching assistants, cooks, electricians, and other similar professions. When they're not working, they're allowed to pretty much come and go as they please. As long as they sign out and explain where they are going, they are allowed to exit their cottages and walk around the grounds from morning until 4 p.m. So, imagine if we flipped the narrative to improving conditions for prisoners. Kind of want to go to this jail for a little vacay. Exactly. It seems like a reasonable place to me. So that is what the internet and various media sources had to say about the prison, but people that have actually been there had a little bit of a different tune. Apparently, it is no Camp Cupcake at all. Evie Litwack is an ex-inmate of this prison. She sheds a different light on the prison in which Martha Stewart is incarcerated. She says they had ill-fitting uniforms, back-breaking work, and frequently refused the opportunity to relax or socialize. She said, my first job at the Alderson kitchen was cleaning floors after lunch and dinner shift. Although I worked 7 or 8 hours a day, I only earned $5.25 during my first month. And after our work was done, we were not permitted to go back to the unit between lunch and dinner. We were not allowed to read, do crossword puzzles, knit, play cards, or sleep. Litwack even shed some light on Stewart's own time, suggesting that the TV personality was singled out and humiliated by prison staff. In Alderson, everyone was required to work in the kitchen for their first 90 days. That is, everyone but Martha Stewart, who requested this but was denied kitchen duty. I suspect she was refused because they thought the chore would give her an inkling of pleasure within the miserable prison environment. She was instead assigned with mopping floors and cleaning toilets of the warden and other high-up staff in the prison. So, I find that very interesting. I also find it interesting that I found other people that were incarcerated with her talking about that, but I have never heard Martha Stewart complain about that, ever. Which I think shows that she's smart, because if she complained about that, people would rip her alive. They'd be like, you had to clean in prison? What do you think prison was going to be like? But it's interesting that, like, it was standard that everyone worked in the kitchen for the first 90 days, but they were like, no, you're going to clean our toilets, the ones that we shit in, Martha Stewart. You know what I mean? Men with power love to degrade women with more power than them. Exactly. I felt like it's very much the vibe here. So on December 22nd, Martha posted a note on her website offering fans an update on her time behind bars. I mean, she didn't post it, but she wrote it and someone else posted it. She insisted that she was doing fine in prison. I look forward to being home, she wrote, to getting back to my valuable work, to creating, cooking, and making television. I've had time to think, time to write, time to exercise, time to not eat the bad food, and time to walk and contemplate the future. She also revealed that her prison job had been cleaning, but like everyone else here, I would rather be doing all of this in my own home and not here away from family and friends. At the time, people noted that the celeb homemaker had sat down for Thanksgiving dinner with a convicted cocaine dealer, apparently. So Martha Stewart is making friends. Rounding off her note, she voiced the need for America to move towards a rehabilitative justice. This is why I'm a Martha Stan right here. She said, I beseech you to think about these women, to encourage the American people to ask for reforms, both in sentencing guidelines and in length of incarceration for nonviolent first-time offenders and those involved in drug taking. They would be much better served in a true rehabilitation center than a prison in which there is no help, no real programs to rehabilitate, no programs to educate, and no way to be prepared for life out there where each person will ultimately find herself, many with no skills and no preparation for living. So, period. Period. I bet she got a lot of shit for this, but also true. Like, it seems like she really is, like, learning. Like, it seems like she went in and was, like, kind to these people and learned from them. You know what I mean? Because, like, they weren't going to be nice to her if she was a dick to them. You know what I mean? I said that too many times. So, although Martha Stewart may have been denied the chance to take on kitchen duties, she did get to spend some of her time in prison cooking. In October 2004, Stewart's lawyer told the media that because the microwave was pretty much the only cooking utility regularly available to inmates, she was experimenting with making her own microwave meals. And as it happens, now sometimes she does post microwave recipes on her site, although it's hard to say how many of them were inspired by her time in prison. At the same time, her lawyer also revealed that she had been picking apples on the prison grounds, and a New York Post piece reported that she had used those same apples to cook up a sweet yet technically illicit jelly. A normal person would get punished for that, one inmate told the outlet, but the prison guards managed to not see her. So Martha Stewart is making contraband jelly in prison, which is iconic, iconic, iconic. You won't do well in prison if you treat fellow inmates the way Martha treated Andy. So, a spokesperson for the prison told the Post that it's very unlikely that a prisoner would get into serious trouble for such activity. It's a 105-acre compound with lots of different trees, and crab apples are amongst them. So I like how the prison is trying to say, like, she wouldn't have gotten in trouble. Y'all are lying. But they said serious trouble. You definitely would have gotten in trouble. So, according to People magazine, she had lost 10 pounds by December, just a couple of months in. And a visitor told the outlet, it's just wild. She looks better than ever. A relative of another inmate who had also presumably spotted Stewart during a visit said that woman is skinny now compared to the pictures of her. It was a big relief for all of us to see Martha so healthy, well-adjusted, and well-liked, said Laura Pimpton. And also, can I just say, skinny does not mean healthy, and her losing weight really rapidly is probably not a sign of her being healthy. It's probably a sign of the fact that her diet changed extremely. She went from eating high-quality foods to very low-quality foods. She's probably doing way, way, way more physical activity than she was before. I don't know. I just like don't like how everyone was like, oh my God, Martha's skinny. Skinny, skinny, skinny. So, Martha Stewart's younger sister also said she looks relaxed and feels that the time is passing quickly. Plimpton noted that her sibling had opted out of the standard turkey Thanksgiving dinner and instead had chosen to cook pasta with olive oil for her and her friend Lisa Guarino, the cocaine dealer that had been arrested. So, but it wasn't just a diet that had Stewart shedding pounds. Apparently, she was a frequent visitor to the prison's workout facilities and often took part in abdominal exercises and yoga. And that's nothing to say of the workout she got doing her cleaning jobs. Cleaning is something she knows how to do, and she knows how to do it very, very well, a friend told People. She doesn't dwell on it, she just does it. And that's the biggest takeaway I've seen. It seems like Martha Stewart was like, I'm going to prison, I'm going to just take this as it comes, I will learn everything I can from this experience. Like, it seems like she went there and she knew she was supposed to be there. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't, like, throw a pity party for herself or be a victim or be like, I don't want to clean. I don't want to do this. It seems like they gave her jobs. She did them. She tried her best at everything. She was respectful towards other inmates. Like, Martha is truly, truly a model prisoner, I think. Imagine if she came out ripped with a face tattoo. I wish. So, as it happens, Martha Stewart made herself more friends in prison than just Lisa Guarino. In fact, Stewart made a number of friends on the inside, including a group of friends she is still keeping in touch with at least 3 years after her release. She said, some of the women who became my friends while I was incarcerated have visited me. They are some very interesting women there of great value to society, and I keep in contact with them. We have some broken systems in this country, and one is the prison system. So again, it seems like she's like And again, to think about it from her former fellow inmates' perspective, you would not continue to have a relationship with that person post-incarceration if you hated them, you know? But she was also probably like super helpful, so I would probably be nurturing that friendship. So, did her family visit? Yes. On October 2004, her daughter appeared on Larry King Live to shed some light on her mother's time behind bars. According to Alexis, by far the worst thing was the food. She said, "I'm sure she could give them quite a few pointers, but I think that the budget is limited, so I'm not sure how much change they'd be willing to make." Alexis also explained that Stewart was getting up before the other inmates and always ate with them, and revealed that because she hadn't been given access to the prison's email system for whatever reason, she was using a typewriter to write to family and friends. I have a theory about this. I fucking hate getting emails. I hate dealing with my email inbox. So if I was in prison, I would not want an email inbox. They'd be like, "You can have email," and I'd be like, maybe not. Maybe not. And I feel like Martha Stewart was probably the same way. She's probably like, "I'm tired of these fucking emails. I will write y'all letters. I want to read my books. I want to do my thing. Let me just hang out in my prison time and not have all these fucking emails from people." Because then also the media would be emailing her and her businesses. You know, like it would have just gotten to be like she was literally just working in prison. Girl, if someone wanted to punish me, give me a mandatory email. That's so Martha to use this typewriter. And again, this was in like 2005 or 2004. So almost every other inmate had apparently been contacted by journalists in an attempt to dig up dirt on the celebrity. So again, like those emails, anyone can email them. So I see why she was like, "Yeah, no, I don't know why the email's not working," and just like never set it up probably. Because I'm sure as the inmate, you have to like do something to set it up. And that's one thing I've heard about prison is that like one of the worst things is no one tells you all the stuff you're supposed to do. Like you have to like fill out your forms and submit things and like no one explains it to you. And apparently the other inmates have to explain it to you. And that's just like not that helpful, I guess. So finally, Alexis insisted that the prison staff were friendly and polite, but had refused to give Stewart any special treatment in the positive sense. So again, it seems like Martha Stewart is like, "Yep, everything's fine. Everything is fine," even though other people are saying, yeah, those prison guards were assholes to her. So Martha Stewart was released on March 4th, 2005, so I think she did serve her whole 5 months. She was then placed on a 2-year term of supervised release. During 5 of those months, she was on home confinement with an ankle bracelet. She served her home confinement in her residence in Bedford, New York. She was allowed to leave her house for 48 hours per week for work-related visits, which is normal. Most people on house arrest, you get to leave for work or school. After her home confinement ended, but while supervised release continued, she was required to remain employed and not associate with people with criminal records. That's usually a requirement of being on probation. You're required to be employed and not with people that have criminal records. All this seems very normal to me. In addition, during supervised release, she was required to receive permission from federal officers if she was going to leave the jurisdiction of the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. In August 2006, the SEC announced that it had agreed to settle the related civil case to Stewart. Under the settlement, Stewart agreed to disgorge, I guess that means give back, $58,000. That was the losses she avoided. So she paid a fine basically because she avoided loss of those stocks. As well as a civil penalty of 3 times the loss avoided, or $137,000. She also agreed to a 5-year ban from serving as director, CEO, or CFO, or any other officer role responsible for preparing, auditing, or disclosing financial results of any public company. And then June 2008, the UK border agency refused to grant her a visa because of her criminal conviction of obstructing justice. So obstructing justice means like you made the court case not able to go through because remember she lied. So then the guy had to be like, "She paid me to lie." So she had been planning to speak at the Royal Academy on Fashion and Leisure to speak at the Royal Academy on fashion and leisure industry matters. So she was coming to do this talk, and the UK said, "We don't want you because you went to prison, so get out." So this is from The Late Show in 2005. This is a couple months after she got out from prison, but this is her vibes.
Not one, but Two new television shows, Martha, now in daytime, and The Apprentice, Martha Stewart, which premieres September 21st on NBC. Here's the one, the only Martha Stewart, ladies and gentlemen. You look wonderful. You look tremendous, Martha.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being on the program. And first, during all of this...
I missed you.
I missed you as well.
I missed you. They told me it was like almost 3 years.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like yesterday.
It really does. And in that time, I don't know
You didn't visit me.
She's funny.
I made, every now and then I would make jokes about...
I heard.
Yeah.
We had a TV.
And I felt horrible about it because I just felt like, well, I know this woman for a long time. We're very good friends, and here we are making jokes about a terribly unfortunate situation. So it's nice that you came back.
Well, I know it was all in good fun, and it is your job, and I always stick up for your job.
Well, thank you.
I do.
I appreciate that. Now, let's go back in. First of all, there's two parts to this. What exactly happened? Tell people what exactly happened, and then... Why you went to jail? What were you convicted of? What?
I don't know. I don't have. One good thing about me, Dave, is that I don't have a long memory for bad things.
Mm.
So I'm trying very hard to put it out of my mind and get on with the future.
But
Not a bad outlook.
In legal terms, they said, and I'm not trying to be
Literally
silly,
just
but
focusing on my
about
salad.
Legal terms. I'm not a lawyer, and
Right.
I was married to that lawyer. Remember?
Oh,
And,
God.
I tried to keep all legal terms sort of out of my vocabulary, and
Not her still
maybe I
shading the
shouldn't
ex.
have, because. But it was.
Well, I understand the case is still under appeal. Is that right?
Yes, it has not been yet ruled on by the appellate division, and we're
And-
waiting for that. That's why I'm not going to say anything.
And if the conviction is overturned, how do they restore the time that you spent away?
Well, they don't actually, but I will be happy.
Yes.
Anyway, in any event, I would be very happy.
And do you have a feeling that it is likely to be overturned, or
I
you
have
don't?
no feeling whatsoever. I'm trying not to get my hopes up or down
Right.
in any way.
But you
So
chose
graceful.
at one point rather than wait for the appeal process to go ahead and take the sentence.
I can talk just a little bit about that. When one is convicted and sentenced, you can appeal, and I was allowed to appeal, and I could not go to Yale, as we called it. We always called it Yale. I always wanted to go to Yale, but if I had not gone to Yale, I would have no TV show this fall. Not two TV shows. I wouldn't have even one TV show this fall. I would not have probably not have a business. Because everyone waits for things to be over.
A reconciliation
Yes.
of any kind is
yeah,
better
it's
than
just-
never knowing.
Exactly. So going to Alderson was the best thing I could have done. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And whatever happens now, well, I can think optimistically. I can't, I don't want to say optimistic.
But yeah, so it seems like she's taking it with grace, taking it with stride. Also, Ellen jump scare apologies. This is way more recent, but she talks about this thing she made at prison.
Oh, you look fabulous.
It's so nice to be here.
It's so nice to have you here.
I love being in California too.
I know. Well, it's so freezing where you are right now. You're rarely here, so thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've had fun over the years. Many, you've been here many times. And right before lockdown, you and Snoop guest hosted the show. Did you have fun?
Oh, we had the best time.
Yeah, we're great.
The best time. Mine's like a little idiot, and then when
is
I got out
partnerships.
and had to do it, just
30 years ago. It's amazing to say that.
I still shudder when I think of me doing that show. I did Ellen's sitcom. It was so scary.
Why?
We have had an
Because
Ellen
you're
deep
a
dive.
tough act, and to get on the stage
Where's
with you
her talking
and
about the
everybody,
thing I
your
want her
director and
talking
everybody
about?
say, "Learn your lines, Martha." Hi, MTV.
Whatever. We'll skip it. But basically, a nativity scene that she made in prison, she sold for a lot of money. So, that is kind of her prison era. Let's move into her friendship with Snoop Dogg. So, obviously, Can I vote for Gwyneth, my arch nemesis? Gwyneth is actually next week is the plan, and the Ellen stream is on YouTube if you missed it. So someone asked me to fact check her friendship with Snoop Dogg, so that's exactly what we are going to do. So she is released from prison and makes a comeback in 2005. Oh, this is actually, I lied. We're about to do the Snoop Dogg thing. This is her post prison career, just like a general. She's released from prison. Martha Stewart living expands. She goes on the Martha Stewart show. She does The Apprentice Martha Stewart, which I don't even really know what that is. Releases another book, releases more books, launches the house stuff, launches upscale houseware for Macy's, has a 24-hour satellite radio channel, makes appearances on TV. She's done a bunch of shit on the Hallmark Channel, on Law and Order, has Martha's cooking show on PBS, partners with eBay to make Made Martha an online store. Lots of stuff going on with Martha's career. Clearly, she made a massive comeback from being in prison. So, let's talk about her and Snoop Dogg. So, they met in 2008 when she invited him on her show to make mashed potatoes. So, here's him on her show making mashed potatoes.
We're back again. The potatoes have been boiled.
I never done it with a machine.
Yeah, well, it's easy. So how do you do it with
Yeah, we in the hood. We like,
So just peel the potatoes. You can peel that one with your fingers or a knife.
Like peel it back?
No, this one needs to be peeled. See?
Like this?
Just take the peels off. Peel.
Like making
The
french
skin.
fries.
The skin.
We make french fries. That skin ain't good.
No, just the skin. Just the skin. Look, this. Just peel the skin off.
Oh,
see?
you want me to take the skins in off of it?
The
My
skins
bad.
in.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever.
The potato chip wrapping.
Okay, so you have your own vocabulary. Now you are really responsible for your vocabulary, right?
Fold
You
it
are
in.
the inventor of it.
Yeah, so much.
Okay. And does everybody understand you? I mean, do your kids
No.
understand you?
No, they don't. And you know what's crazy, Martha? I don't even understand it, so that's the great part about it.
You just have fun with
I just
it.
have fun talking.
And so you have a new album coming out
Yes, I
for Christmas, right?
Yeah, I put out
Oh, so
Christmas
like, are you
song.
gonna sing like traditional Christmas?
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Santa Claus. I got songs like Santa Claus Go Straight.
So this is when they met. So it seems like they're literally kind of like riffing off each other and vibing off each other from day one. And then he returned to make brownies a year later.
So today is Christmas Cookie Day, and I thought that who could be better to make Christmas cookies than Snoop Dogg? And we wanted us to make green-colored brownies. How come green?
Green is environmental and it's
Green, 12 ounces.
12 ounces.
Yeah, 12 ounces. 12 ounces. Which is different.
Are you sure are those 12 ounces?
Yeah,
or 12 ounces?
we measured it exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
We got some ounces in the
Yes.
building. When do we add
the eggs?
the
The stuff?
yeah.
Well, later.
Okay.
And that's secret.
Okay.
Can't you rap while we're doing this? Tell me what you're doing and rap.
Trying to bake some brownies, but we're missing the most important part of the brownies.
Which is.
No sticks, no seeds,
Which
no
is.
stems.
You want green brownies.
Yes.
He wants green brownies. Brownish green brownies.
Greener the better.
Greener the better.
Mixing the flour. This will taste good. Make me a kiss.
Oh.
This is so funny.
Especially if it's green. Especially if it's green.
This really is everything. 2009, man.
So bake these at 350 degrees.
Why not bake them at 420 degrees?
Does it taste good?
Mm-hmm.
Would you eat a brownie?
I just did.
Imagine Snoop Dogg and Martha narrating your life. I would like them to host my funeral. So that's how they met. Then he came back a year later. Then in 2010, this is literally just a timeline of their friendship I found from People magazine. He tweeted and said, at Martha Stewart, hi sunshine, need some goodies for Prince William's bachelor party. I got the track. You get the snacks. So, like, Snoop Dogg is high-key so dad. Very much dad core. Like, him in this era, very much dad. So, then May 2013, Martha Stewart tweets this photo of them from when they were making brownies together. So they're very much friends with each other. Then in 2014, they hadn't communicated publicly in a while, but when Snoop Dogg announced his new candle line, he said, "Shout out to Martha Stewart for my inspiration," and then posted a pic of his candle line. Then they did the Justin Bieber roast on Comedy Central. I tried to find clips of this, but I couldn't really find anything that was like funny. Like, all I could find was stuff out of context that I didn't really get, so I just didn't think it was that hopeful. They had their big reunion in 2015 doing that Justin Bieber roast. It was hosted by Kevin Hart. The only thing I could find was her making fun of Kevin Hart. And I wanted to find her making fun of Justin Bieber. In addition to roasting Bieber, the businesswoman also poked fun at her friend Snoop during the special. She said, "Snoop, I see that you've been following my beauty regimen. You would never know that Snoop Dogg is 43 now, which is 3 times as long as actual dogs live and twice as long as most of his friends." She's so funny. Then in their 2019 NBC interview, Snoop recalled, "She sat next to me and she stole the show. She was the funniest roaster that night." And he added, "In that moment, I knew I wanted to be alongside this lady for the rest of my life." So they're very much friends with each other, and it seems like a very genuine friendship to me. Then in 2015, Martha Stewart told Seth Meyers that she got contact high when she was hanging out with Snoop. Apparently, Martha Stewart, when she joined Late Night with Seth Meyers, said that she felt the effects of being near Snoop during the event. She said, "I got high just sitting there. Snoop had all of those, you don't call them joints, you call them something else, big fat ones. We had to sit on the stage for 4 hours, and the secondary smoke is just as powerful as the primary smoke. So I was totally high by the time I got to that microphone." I love that she admitted it. She's like, "Yeah, I was toasted." Toasted. And then in 2016, they were on the $100,000 pyramid together.
Ready? Go.
Something that you make your salad in.
Oh, ball.
You pull them out of your garden. They're bad.
Weed.
It's a little sort of vermin that crawls around your kitchen. You don't want them.
Ants. A roach.
The low road.
The high road.
Skinny. Opposite of skinny.
Fat. Fatty.
It's something that you roll like sushi.
Oh, a joint.
They're so good at
And
this.
it's the country code for the Czech Republic.
Oh, 20, baby.
Who said it couldn't be done?
Oh my god. The way that they gave her every prompt about weed is hilarious to me. And then during a Rolling Stone interview, Snoop said, "I've never met anyone like Martha Stewart. When we come together, it's a natural combination of love, peace, and harmony." They're literally like twin flames. So they then co-hosted a celebrity cooking show in 2016 together. And they said, "At our dinner party, we will exemplify America's fascination with food, entertaining, and celebrity. Martha and Snoop's dinner party will redesign the traditional food competition shows in a new, different, and funny way." And Snoop added, "My homegirl Martha and I have a special bond that goes back. We're going to be cooking, drinking, and having a good time with our exclusive friends. Can't wait for you to see how we roll together." And they had people like Bella Thorne, Jason Derulo, Wiz Khalifa, and Kathy Griffin. I love Kathy Griffin, by the way. And in an interview with People, Stewart said, "One thing she's taken away from working with Snoop is I've learned a lot of new vocabulary. I have a little dictionary. I actually might write the dictionary. It's all those little faux shizzles and everything else." She's so like grandma coded. Like she really, really is. So here's some other stuff they've done together. Martha Stewart wrote the foreword for his cookbook. They co-hosted a spinoff of the cooking show. Martha Stewart showed Snoop Dogg how to pot a tomato plant in the pandemic. They did a Christmas cookie baking together on Zoom. They co-hosted the Puppy Bowl. This is in the game. If you don't know what the Puppy Bowl is, it's at the same time as the Super Bowl, and it's just a bunch of puppies running around, and it's really fun and cute. They also did a Halloween food competition together, and then they co-hosted the Puppy Bowl again in 2022, and then Snoop Dogg was the first guest on Martha Stewart's podcast. So it does seem like they have a very genuine friendship and working relationship. They were in this ad together in May of 2021, and this is literally one of my favorite ads. Have you ever covered Scientology? Or are you scared to do that? So yes, I'm scared, but more importantly, I don't know where to start. Like, there's just so much, I don't even know where to start. So I want to do it, but it's just going to be a while.
Hey, Martha, pass me that big Easy Reach lighter in that bowl.
Bowl of strawberries.
Thanks. This is perfect for hard to reach places.
And it helps keep your fingers away from the flame.
Whoa. Do I smell?
That's right. Fondue time.
Big Easy Reach, the ultimate lighter. Perfect for candles, grills, and so much more.
So that is a hilarious ad that they're in together. I think their ongoing joke of like him smoking weed and her pretending to not know what's going on is very funny. And whatever person at Bic marketing pitched that idea, great work. Great fucking work. We're all mature enough to recognize this. Oh no, I went too far. So, in May 2023, Stewart appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated as the cover model. At 81 years old, she is the oldest model to ever be featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Bad bitch alert. Look at Martha Stewart, 81. 81. That's how you know she's a good person, because of how well she's been aging, and that she's rich and has probably prioritized skincare for 60 years. 81. So there's her on her cover of Sports Illustrated. Obviously, we're going to look at the whole photo shoot because she's literally eating and leaving no crumbs. She looks like happy. She looks healthy. Like, oh my God, I love it. I also feel like y'all are probably going to shade me and think that I'm wrong here, but it doesn't seem like she's trying to look young. Like, obviously, she takes great care of herself and probably has on a ton of makeup and all of that. But, like, when you look at the style choices, they're not, like, gearing younger. Like, she looks like she's aging, like, gracefully. It doesn't look like she's trying to look super young or, like, push it. She just looks really good. She's a classy, sexy. Like, literally, Martha is crushing it. Look at her. And her, like, look at this house. Martha, like, this is literally iconic. Please look at this photo. The sunglasses, being in the pool, like, this is everything. Carving out a niche for women of all ages to age gracefully and be sexy. Like, literally, the hat is iconic. The sunglasses are iconic. Everything about this I'm loving and I'm absolutely eating up. So these were the sources I used tonight. Lots of straight from Martha Stewart. We also had that wild Daily Mail article, and Wikipedia, as always, is always a great, great help to me. Snoop Dogg is 51 years old, to those asking. Yes. So I might change my mind for next week, but my plan is to do Gwyneth Paltrow. Let me know what we are thinking of this. I have not started the slides yet. So I'm open to feedback, but I think Gwyneth Paltrow, personally. Thoughts? Goop. Oh my God, no, what did I just do? That was scary. I'm scared of Gwyneth. Alrighty, I'll think about it. Usually what happens is I start making the slides, and if it's gonna be boring, then I just kind of stop and pick something else. Venmo update. So let's see where we're at with the computer bunch. So we are at 1580. So thank you to Elizabeth, Anna, Grace, Armelinda, and Lisa. If anyone else would like to gift towards my computer fund, my Venmo is right there. We are almost there. And while I continue to squawk about that, we have a trivia game. This is over everything that we talked about today. You definitely don't have to participate, but it'd be more fun if you did. Which one do we want to do? Maybe Jungle? Jungle, because of that iconic photo of her in the jungle theme room, is what I think. So, if you want to join, feel free to. You don't have to make an account. You don't have to enter an email address. You don't have to pay money. I don't want anything like that from you. All you have to do is go to join.nearpod.com and then enter this code. Oh, and thank you, Madison. And then enter this code and then put in your name or something funny or whatever. My merch came during this and I'm now wearing it. Oh my God, so fun. So, if you would like to join us on this trivia game, I'll give you a couple seconds to do so. Those of you on TikTok, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight to you. Bye-bye, TikTok people. But I'll give you some time to join on here. Pick your names, pick your little characters. We'll play a little trivia game. This was a fun topic. I thought that this topic was going to eat super hard, and it really, really did. So I'll give you a couple minutes to join. Trust in a month I'm buying merch, and I'll probably come out with some other stuff soon as well. Licked the plate clean, truly. Okay, how many people are on here? Oh my God, 17 people are already on there. And yes, next week we will be returning to Wednesday. Aw, thank you. I put Chappelle on for you. I already had money in my Venmo balance, so it's free. Exactly. Oh my gosh, thank you. We got a 20, we got a 5 from Sierra, from Madison. We're at 16:05 now. We're literally like almost there. Love that for us. Alrighty, I'll give you a couple more seconds to join the game. Let me send it in the chat again. You can do this from your phone. You can do this in a new tab. If you're watching me on TV, do it on your phone. If you're on a computer, I would just open up a new tab and do it there. But I'll give you a few more moments to join. How many people are here? 42. Okay, I'm gonna give you like 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8. Can someone help Miss Burmia use the Amazon subscription? I think it's in your settings. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm gonna hit start. Oh, look at all your little characters. Not you counting us down like a teacher. Y'all can really tell, let me turn the music down a little bit. Y'all can really tell I'm in my teacher era. You have no idea how hard it was to keep that under wraps from y'all. Sarah, thanks for the 5. Like, for me to not tell y'all what was going on for like literal months was awful. Like, I wanted to die, actually. What the fuck? They got married? I hate Instagram. Why does everyone get married? Everybody needs to relax. That's what everybody needs to do. Everybody just needs to relax and stay calm. I'm happy I'm able to teach again too, and it's going a lot better. A little bit of a rough start there, but we're coming out on top. Martha's college job was modeling. When did Martha divorce her husband? Amen on the marriage shit. Y'all chill out. Exactly. $19.90. Nice job. When all of you guys answer, it skips ahead. I got married on 7/24/2030. Congratulations. Happy for you. What's been the hardest thing about going back? It's hard to say like one thing. I would say the biggest thing is adjusting to a new state and a new district. Like, I have a new curriculum. I'm in a new state that has different requirements and different rules. So it's like really overwhelming because like A, I'm a little bit rusty, and then B, it's like a completely different environment. Like, our schedule is different. The curriculum is different. The students are different. Like, So that has been, like, that part was a lot harder than I expected. Like, that was, I don't know why I thought it would be easy, but it's been hard. Like, to learn new curriculum, like, I feel like a first year teacher again, which is tough, but I think it's like a good thing and it's making me better. It was to give health insurance to my husband, and also because it was inevitable. Shout out to you, insurance giver. We love that. Camp Terrible is funny. I try. Jesus. I'm almost better. I'm on antibiotics. If you were here last week, I sounded terrible. So appreciate you guys for sticking through that. Martha made no friends in prison and kept to herself. A lot of y'all are getting it right. Nice job. Your answer is B, false. She made friends. She was assimilating. She was a part of her community. Trust in Martha. Who was a close friend of Martha Stewart's? My head is itchy. I need to, like, deeply cleanse my scalp. I wish I could, like, shave my head and exfoliate. Did you solve the phone issue? Not yet. We are trying something tomorrow. I got brown paper bags, and I'm going to have them put their phones in the bags, and we'll see how that goes. And I think they were receptive when I talked to them about it today, because I was like, I hate this. I was like, I need y'all to know that I am miserable and I hate doing this. And I told them that once at least 75% of the class is passing, we can get our phones back. So because I hate doing stuff with, like, no end date, you know? So I think it'll be better. And they hosted the Puppy Bowl together a few times. And how old was Martha Stewart on the Sports Illustrated cover? Don't shave your head. It's great until it gets cold. I'm so excited to see if my boyfriend has that same sentiment, because we were living in Miami before and he's bald by choice. And so obviously it doesn't really get cold there, but now we live here and it does get cold. So I wonder if he is going to let his hair grow out in the winter. Probably not, though, because he always says he hates it. I think there's one more question. Who are we learning about next week? It's B, if you don't know. I think we're learning about Gwyneth Paltrow, unless I think of something better. I always feel the need to say that he is bald by choice, because that man has a full hairline. Like, when it grows in, I see it. But then he takes that razor and shaves the whole thing every couple days. I am going to do Todd Chrisley. I will probably have to do Todd Chrisley over, like, Thanksgiving break, because I literally will have to dissect, like, so many court documents about Todd Chrisley. All right. Nice job, Ray in first place, then Cowboy Girl, Easy Reach Lighter, Snoop Special Brownies, a lot of parking, It's Just Abs, the baby from Ice Age with a knife, Sunboy, Martha in a prison parking lot, Tom J, Emily, JR, Justin Bieber, Ash Bass, and Snoop's Schweed Jar. Nice job, nice job. Sorry I just joined, but are you going to do a live about using tech in the classroom? Yes, I actually am going to, like, partner with a nonprofit to do it, and it's going to be later in October. I think we'll do October 18th, but we're still working out the details. But thank you so much for being here. I loved this topic. Next week, we will return to Wednesdays. I'm excited to go back to Wednesdays. Maintenance Phase has an ep about her and they post sources. Ooh, thank you. But any thoughts, any memes, anything to share, any questions, anything that we are wondering? What's going on? Anybody? I know there's, like, a lag on you guys. And I'm sure you're making your Martha Stewart memes, so I'll give you a moment. Me messaging Martha back in prison. Dearest Martha, prison cookbook when? No, she really does need to come out with that. I'm sure she had good ideas. You know she did. Andy versus Martha Stewart all time. Oh. Me to my students after lunch. You have to actually do things. So that's what I think it is. My class that I've been telling you about that I'm like, guys, it's because I see them after lunch. And then the class after that is my planning period. I only want to be a teacher pre-lunch. Once they go to lunch, it's over. Like, I'm done. Once lunch happens, we're good. We are good. We are good. It's a good thing. No lag, I'm just not creative. Do Keanu? Probably not. I don't really know him like that. Todd Chrisley is going to be a wild stream. But thank you so much for being here. Like I said, this is the highlight of my week. Tomorrow I have a school thing, so okay, I think I'm going to use Nearpod. I love Nearpod. Nearpod is that girl, even though I hate the new update. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. This was a fun topic. I love talking about Martha Stewart. I feel like she was very inspirational. I learned a lot. I hope everybody has a great night. Sleep tight. Love you so much, and see you next week on Wednesday for Gwyneth Paltrow.